The Summer Lifestyle Tempest Trials is already underway. As a reminder, we have another summer banner in a couple weeks, which means another Tempest Trials. Lots of orbs to earn if you want to summon. As usual, you can get up to 42 orbs, 11,000 feathers, and 80 sacred coins. This month we have Everma's 6 divine codes and 1 fire blessing for Legendary Hinata. Sacred seals are going to be odd attack wave and chill attack and res. Then our reward unit, we have Summer Male Shez, who is quite an exceptional unit. You can get a 4-star and 5-star copy, and we'll talk about it more later on. For sacred seals, our first option is odd attack wave 3. At start of odd turns, grant plus 6 attack field buffs to the unit and adjacent allies for 1 turn. Bonus is always granted to the user. We still haven't finished wave sacred seals, but they are definitely feeling outdated at this point in the game. Technically not terrible skills since they can buff allies, but they only work every other turn. We have a bunch of other self-buffing skills that work every turn nowadays. You can combine odd and even wave buffs to work every turn, but that's 2 whole skill slots. Good old Nino's Refine can do this with a weapon, but you could also just use odd attack wave as a C skill. Maybe if a tier 4 version got introduced and it buffed 2 stats or something with maybe a status of some kind, then they could be worth the hassle. Currently, just feels like there are better options, especially if you only want these self buffs. Next, we have Chill Attack and Res 2. At start of turn, inflict -5 attack and res debuffs on the foe on the enemy team with the highest attack plus res total through their next actions. Dual chills are slightly tougher to gauge on who they will land since it's calculating with 2 stats, but generally you're going to hit a high res mage or tank. Chills are still decent as sacred seals if you want some debuffs. They always hit someone, and you can slap them on any unit, making it pretty versatile for support. I think they are okay upgrades if you have extra coins, but not a must use by any means.
Something to be said for taking the time to just unwind every once in a while. Surfing? Self-taught, just like my swordsmanship.
Onto our Tempest Trials reward unit, we have Summer Male Shez. The developers do seem to like the Shez because Male Shez will be quite good. He is a Lance Flier with 41 HP, 44 attack, 44 speed, 31 defense, and 23 resistance. Speed Super Boon is fantastic and would be worth taking if you want to invest. Shez has a Res Super Boon as well, which is okay if you wanted a more balanced defensive spread. Stat-wise, Summer Male Shez is impressive. As we will see later, he is the fastest free-to-play Lance Flier and has the 2nd highest attack. A lot of damage potential, albeit at the cost of defense and res. Shez will be a bit squishy, although he has a more defense compared to the faster Pegasus Knights who stack resistance. If you're looking for offense though, Shez will not be stopped. This is especially true because Male Shez also gets a unique weapon. In fact, it's the exact same as his female counterpart on the banner. Surfer Spade is an 11 might lance with +5 speed. It grants near trace contour remaining +1, and Shez gets brave attacks for both phases. Last, he deals true damage on hit equal to 20% of his speed stat. Now that I think about it, I am disappointed the Shezes aren't dual wielding. We need more dual wielding in Fae. That's okay though, because Surfer Spade is an awesome weapon for a free unit. We have 2 Ninja Brave Lances that aren't bad for inheritable options. Surfer Spade has 2 more might than those weapons. It grants 1 more speed than the Ninja Yari, and it definitely grants a ton more true damage than the Ninja Naginata. And then Shez gets near trace Kanto on top. Shez can easily surpass 50 speed, which would give him +10 true damage on each hit. I mentioned before, this is basically a special worth of damage considering you're hitting twice, but maybe I should have said that this is kind of just a free Regno Astra proc. 20% speed 2 times, and if you quad, then even more damage. Fantastic weapon for a heroic grow unit. Simple, but with Shez's absurd stat spread, I got no complaints. For the rest of Shez's base kit, sadly he will not get Swift Slice. That definitely makes the brave attack scary, but that's okay, we can live without it. Shez has Luna as his special, and Chill Defense 3. You can find those on many other units. His primary skill is Attack and Speed Solo 3 in the A slot. It has taken years for the devs to let this thing go into the non-demo pool. It's nice to get Attack and Speed Solo 4 from some units for foddering, but the tier 4 isn't really a big upgrade, literally a single stat point increase. We now have many other options like Catch, Clash, Remote, Surge, etc. It's fine for a budget build. Some inheritable weapons still use solo conditions, and we have a plethora of solo sacred seals to pair with it. For Shez, obviously more attack and speed is what he wants. Chill Defense targets the highest defense tank, and with no survivability options, you may as well just go full damage. A lot of people are going to merge this Shez, and for good reason. The neutral nature adds +1 HP attack and speed. totally fine if you don't want to spend trait fruits. However, Speed Super Boon for true damage scaling off of speed, and every point of attack counts for brave weapons. If you can, both of those boons in attack and speed would be ideal for full damage. Now, we have a lot of free-to-play Lance Fliers. Summer Male Shez is going to make his case even if you don't want to use his brave weapon. For heroic rail units, the previous fastest Lance Flier at based was Bridal Lorem, who is a dancer. With Dragon Flowers, some other Pegasus Knights will break 40 speed, but no one breaks 40 attack. Male Shez is all alone if you want pure damage out of a heroic rail unit. On the defensive side, he will have some issues. The Pegasus Knights have way more res, and some even match Shez's defense stat. Cynthia and Sigrun can get a bunch of stats all around with their refines. If you want someone with some speed, the new Revenger Lance Refine for Cormac is a lot of fun. The man can take some punishment with Guard Bearing 4. Now, if you want to build a Lance Flyer in a couple months, I believe Heath isn't far in line for a refine. I believe he was 3 months after Cormac, so not that far off. In terms of attack and speed stats, the demo pool has a bit more competition. In Gen 7 BST, Vanessa has the best offensive spread, but even that won't catch Shez. Fila has the speed, but 7 less base attack. With Dragon Flowers, more members will catch up to Shez's speed stat, but again, no one touches his great base attack. Literally only Vanessa even breaks 40 attack. To make up for the less damage, the demote Flyers will have way more resistance. Most of these units have Pegasus Knight, high speed and res, lower defense spreads, although Marsha has decent speed and defense. Shez actually ties for the lowest res stat in this class. Similar to his female counterpart, he'll dish out good damage, but may struggle if he cannot get some clean kills. For playstyles, Summer Male Shez shares the same basic game plan as his banner twin. Brave attacker with high quad potential, but may run into trouble if the enemy gets to attack back. This Shez won't have the insane effectiveness multiplier, but it also means you don't really have to worry about any speed checks, except of course for actually outspeeding. His base kit is pretty decent for a budget unit, attack and speed solo for +6 attack and speed, shield defense to soften up the tankiest enemy. You can simply tack on another attack and speed solo Sacred Seal, but any damage seal is fine. For C skills, you could run attack and speed 03 for self boss. Instead of chill defense, Desperation is a fine alternative for later battles. If Shez were to get hurt, he can just quad attack instantly. The only issue being any follow-up deny effect will stop this, and Shez can't really use the no follow-up Sacred Seal like an infantry unit. If you wanted to try a different approach to quadding, Breaker skills technically can work. Use their free follow-up attack to cancel out enemy follow-up denial, and Shez has a good chance to outspeed anything not remotely fast. He will have to take a hit, but this free unit hits 49 speed with just his weapon, so maybe you could opt for other stats like defense. Double attack and defense catch 3 can be used, although don't expect Shez to be a long-term tank. Another interesting part of Breaker skills is enemy phase quad attacks. So for Spade is a dual phase brave weapon. Generally, you want to be on the offensive, but hey, if Shez can survive and not get doubled, then he's going to dish out 4 hits at any time. Female Shez has a priority on player phase moves since Swift Slice's effective damage only works on initiations. Male Shez doesn't have that luxury, but you may be able to play around that with a certain skill I'll mention later. Before we move on, reminder that Male Shez is a flyer, not a cavalier. That means flyer mobility skills are on the table, including in the B slot. You could go with flyer formation or aerobatics for warping, and you can run any of the team warping support options like guidance or air orders. Moving on to the premium skills, we have a couple different options to discuss for a flyer. First off, the most obvious is Dive Bomb. Desperation can get quads when you're hurt, but Dive Bomb can do the same at full HP. The main issue is being stopped by any follow-up denial effects. Those kinda just put a stop to this game plan unless you can cancel those out. Now for general offensive brave attack usage, the new Rain Snap C skills are actually quite nice for Shez. He has Contour remaining +1 in his weapon, and Rain Snap's extra movement just opens up more options. Sadly, that skill is gone with the Bridal Banner. Who knows when it's going to be back. Now if you can get that through movement, Clash skills are another offensive option. You're going to neutralize demos, so it's a pretty good setup for just pure damage with Contour escape options. Another flyer option is of course Oath 4 C skills, self-buffing and warping, always dangerous. As for Flow B skills, these are excellent for both Shez's. Offensive no follow-up is needed to quad consistently and could be run with the Desperation Seal. However, without Desperation active, Shez would be taking a counterattack in between his quad, and if the enemy wasn't already dead, then it's probably a sturdier tank or brawler. Well, 2 brave hits just gives more cooldown to the enemy. If they have cooldown reduction of any kind like breath type cooldown, then not even Flow Guard will save Shez from charging slaying bonfires and the like. Almost every single strong armor can instantly counter with slaying bonfires, and normally single hits with guard can stop this. That doesn't work with brave attacks. Shez also has no way to deal with damage reduction, which makes 2-tap KOs a bit iffy. Female Shez can brute force it with Swift Slice, male Shez doesn't have that option. Flow skills are fine, but another approach to getting quad attacks is tanking the counterattack with Brash Assault 4. 30% damage reduction might make the difference even if the enemy gets a special. Instead of offense and a follow-up, you have a free follow-up attack to still cancel out follow-up denial, and Shez gets -4 debuffs plus the empowered reflected counterattack. I would like Swift Slices plus ATOL stats, but male Shez will have to make do with attack and defense catch, clash solo, or sturdy impact. Honestly, we don't care about the follow-up denial from impact, we just want the extra defense. That would extend to the whole build really. Attack Reigns or Menace C skills and any defense boosters of any kind. Obviously, if the enemy is a dragon, then you're screwed. But that's the trade-off when you don't have the highest base res and we only have a small 30% DR effect. Well, if you want more damage reduction, Guard Bearing 4 is another option. 60% DR for one fight, plus some nice speed and defense debuffs. We won't have any follow-up based effects to get a quad, but maybe you can supplement that from another unit. At least on the enemy phase, Shez will have brave attacks. Maybe you want to do Guard Bearing 4 with distant counter to be annoying. Maybe Guard Bearing with Speed Smoke 4 for DR stacking. Generally speaking, Surfer Spade has quite a few ways it can be used. Brave attacks with high mobility Kanto, and maybe even adding Gale Force. You could run warping skills with follow-up based effects, or maybe try a survivability approach with high damage reduction skills. You can enhance these playstyles with support from, say, Legendary Hinoka. Charge plus cooldown reduction both fit Surfer Spade. Breath type cooldown especially would open up more interesting enemy phase tactics. With all this said, Summer Male Shez is also arguably the best free-to-play flyer for the Arcane Lewin. You can get Guard Bearing 3 from a Summer Ingrid Divine Code's Common Manual. That would let you get Arcane Lewin with Guard Bearing 4 from Rearmed Ingrid if you're a fan of having multiple build options. With Arcane Lewin, you get Slaying, plus 5 stats, retain the 20% speed true damage, neutralize enemy speed and defense boss, and for outspeeding, you're going to get full no follow-up effects. Very fun weapon, especially with Guard Bearing 4's high damage reduction. Completely different skill set from Surfer Spade, but that option is available. Overall, not a bad Tempest Trials. Sacred Seals are not immediately eye-catching, if anything Chill Attack and Res is decent. As for Summer Male Shez, extremely fun reward unit. Not only is he a Lance Flier with the best attack and speed stats by a pretty large margin, at least for free units, he will bring his own weapon. Surfer Spade is an excellent Brave weapon with a couple nice perks, and it definitely is better than the 2 Ninja Brave Lance alternatives. Being dual phase does give Shez some options, but our dual wielder is definitely more about taking initiative and putting pressure on the player phase. With his high speed, Shez threatens a quad at any time, but getting to that quad will be an issue against enemies who actually survive that long. There is potential as a Lance unit to maybe keep up with dodge spamming Swordmasters. If Shez can outspeed, then no more dodge DR, and his brave attacks will rip through those units with color advantage. Easier said than done though. Now, if I didn't have a million Lance Flier projects, I probably would consider merging Shez up. Honestly, I may still do it just because of his weapon. However, with my summoning on the Summer Banner, I did finally complete my regular female Shez plus 10 projects, so I'm quite satisfied at the moment. There's also the what if I need attack and speed solo fodder in the future. The current tier 4 solos, not that enticing, but really nothing stopping the devs from introducing another tier 4 variant. We'll have to see. That's all I got for now though. Have fun farming the Tempest Trials and definitely get both copies of Summer Male Shez. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.